Hello YouTubers, how you doing? CJ here. I hope you're all keeping well. Okay, so in today's video, I'm going to be showing you my Ronnie McDowell collection. That's Ronnie McDowell, not Roddy. Ronnie McDowell, who is an American country music legend, and I just absolutely love him to bits. I really do. But before I get into it, I'd like to just say a big thank you to all my new subscribers, to all my subscribers that have been with me right from the start, and to those who are not subscribed but I know that tunes into my channel and my videos, who also leaves me comments and sends me emails. It's really lovely to have everybody's support, so thank you all so much. Okay, so before I show my Ronnie collection, I'd like to show you a CD by a guy named Chris McDaniel. Now, Chris is also a country artist, and Chris is a really special guy. He's not only an amazing guy, but he's a fantastic artist. I'd like you to please check him out at thechrismcdaniel.com. I'll put a link in the description. Also check out his Facebook page as well. This is a CD called A Man Like Me, the best of Nashville recordings. He's also got a new album coming out, I think, soon, and he's already done some fantastic new recordings. Please check him out on YouTube and check him out on Facebook as well, and his website. Now, I bet you're wondering, okay, so why am I showing you a CD by a guy named Chris McDaniel when I put this as my Ronnie McDowell collection? Well, not only is Chris a fantastic artist and a fantastic guy who I'm really proud to call a friend, Chris does all the online social media work for Ronnie McDowell. He runs a Facebook group called Ronnie McDowell Radio, and he got me involved with that group a few years ago now, and I'm really proud to be involved and part of Ronnie McDowell's official group. I also help run the radio station, which you can find a link to on ronniemcdowell.com, and which again is called Ronnie McDowell Radio, where it is 24/7 Ronnie McDowell. So check that out. What else? See, I got so much I need to get out, and sometimes I overthink and do things a little bit too quick, so please bear with me. I'm also involved with some of the CD artwork for the disc and stuff like that, because Chris normally does all the artwork, but there's been times when I've had involvement with the artwork, and I've helped like remaster some of the tracks and so forth that are on the CDs, and I upload them onto the website so that they can be done for to be for sale at Ronnie shows, etc. Now I'm going to start off by showing you, just trying to work out how the best way to do this. I'll show you the books first, and there's something that I did which I'll come to afterwards. Now, there are two books I'd like to show you. This one is called The Genuine Elvis, Photos and Untold Stories About the King. Ronnie McDowell, Edie Hand, and Joe Midwa. Sorry if I haven't pronounced any names correctly. I struggle sometimes with pronunciation, so I do apologize. Now, this book is a lovely all the paintings, because Ronnie is also a fantastic artist, and he has done some amazing portraits and paintings over the years, such as the one on the front cover right here. I'd like to show you a few things. Let's take this out of the covering, and in this book it's all about it contains all the paintings that Ronnie has done over the years, some famous paintings which are landmarked, and they've all got their own names as well, like The Roxy Theatre by Ronnie McDowell, 2021. Originally titled Memories Are Made of This. So that's something that Ronnie did. And there is a few famous paintings that are well known, which you see online and over the internet quite a lot. I mean, there's also stories in here, like I said, from people who were with Elvis and so forth. This picture here is a very famous picture that you'll see online, but it's actually a painting that Ronnie did. Reflection of a King by Ronnie McDowell. This was done in 2008. Ronnie's done some amazing portraits. You can find his artwork as well on his website if you go to the art section on the site. So please, if you can get this book, please get hold of it and check it out. It is fantastic. Okay, I'll put that away. I got this thing because I look after all my stuff. There's an old saying, see, if you look after your stuff will look after you, and that is true. Okay, so that's a fantastic book, The Genuine Elvis. What you just put? This was put out in. It's not dated. I can't see any dates. Okay, well, it's called The Genuine Elvis. That's the cover for it. Check it out if you can. And then the next book I got, which is pretty cool. Now I love reading. Now the only reading I always ever used to do was about Elvis, or maybe about the Titanic, or anything history. I love history. So and Elvis is always my biggest read because there are so many books. And obviously I've read the book on Meatloaf and Freddie Starr and different people who I like. Now this book is Ronnie's autobiography. This is Bringing It to You Personally, the autobiography with Scott England. And this is the latest version, so this is up to date because it was an early one of this, and this is the latest one. Now this is signed by Ronnie. 2020. Now, my wife got me this for Christmas, and well, let's just say I read it within, I think it was a week or so. I read it in. It's some of the stories that are in here is just reading this book. I got to be honest with you, I laughed, but then I cried. Then I laughed again, and I cried again. It really is an amazing book, and his life story is so fascinating. And that's Ronnie. There's a baby. He was born Ronald Dean McDowell, born March 25th, 1950. Some of the cool pictures there, because Ronnie went into the service as well. He went into the service. So he fought for his country. Absolutely amazing. And this gives you his entire story all the way up from the beginning. It is really, really fascinating. There's there we go, there's Ronnie there with Tom Jones. Ronnie McDowell and Tom Jones. Pretty cool picture. It's Ronnie with Dolly Parton, which he did a painting for Ronnie, for Dolly. There's her and Elvis there. So it is an amazing book. It talks about talks about his work with the Jordanaires, everything that he's done. So if you can please check this out, it's a fantastic read, and I'm going to start reading this again too pretty soon. So there's my Ronnie McDowell book. Okay, so now I'll come to the VHS tapes. Well, the first VHS and the first DVD. Now, Ronnie's VHS are quite rare to get hold of. And I bought this one. This is A Life in the Day of Ronnie McDowell. And that's autographed by him as well. And when I got this, I had the idea of transferring it to DVD, because I do digital transfers from VHS to DVD, and I remaster them and so forth. Well, I had the idea of transferring it, and I was speaking to Chris about how about putting it out for the fans to buy, and I wanted to replicate the video cover, but obviously this is autographed. I mean, I could have, I could have just scanned it and, used it with the autograph on, but I wanted a clean, unautographed picture, but I can't find this picture of Ronnie anywhere else. So, otherwise I would have fully replicated the cover. Well, I did replicate it, and I didn't. I had to put my own little stamp on it somehow. Basically, I transferred it to DVD, spoke to Chris about an idea of putting it together for the fans to buy, and he and Ronnie said, sure, why not? So it was all approved by Ronnie and everything else. So then I transferred it, and I actually put a special feature on here as well, which is Elvis with Ronnie with the Jordanaires, and I put it onto DVD, and it says on the bottom, for the first time on DVD. This is my creation of it, and it was put onto a site where people could buy it. I'm not sure if it's still available anymore. And I sent Chris the master DVD, which he was able to get produced by a company. That's the DVD. Yeah, and it's a great DVD. So, A Life in the Day of Ronnie McDowell. And then we have Ronnie McDowell live at Church Street Station 1986 and live on Swap Shop 1991. Another one that I put together there. I am sorry about any of the reflections. I'm trying to do this where there's not many reflections. Let's turn the light a bit. There we go. So I do apologize. And then a friend of mine in Sweden, who lives in Sweden, his name is Miguel, and he had this videotape. Now it doesn't have a cover, although I might make, I think I'll make one for it, because I can make video covers as well. And this is the tape, and it just says there, Ronnie McDowell live in Wheeling, West Virginia. So again, there is only so much you can do when it comes to transferring videotapes. Obviously, with A Life in the Day, like with this one, this is the original tape, so I was able to do certain things with. This tape here, however, I could only do so much when it came to the hiss and stuff like that. But that didn't stop me from transferring it and putting it to DVD, and because of what year it was and the songs that were in it, I used the same cover that was used for the greatest hits. This is West Virginia 1996, live in Wheeling. I'll have to talk to Chris about maybe putting this out as well. Now it does say DVD 1 on the top. That's an error by me. I don't know why I did that, but yeah. Now this, I actually watch this quite a lot. This is a fantastic concert, and do you know something? I'm very inspired by Ronnie, by his tribute to Elvis, which I'm going to come to in a few minutes. Actually, I'll come to it now. Now, this is I should have done the CDs first, I guess. Right, never mind. This is Ronnie McDowell presents a tribute to the King live. It's featuring DJ Fontana, Ray Walker, Millie Kirkland, Ed Yonk or whatever. Sorry about that, I can't pronounce it. I'm not forgetting the Ronnie McDowell Band. And it was the introduction was done by George Klein. Running time 40 minutes as well. It's like a little special that was put out. There's the disc. And then another DVD that I put together, but I'm redoing this one over the next few weeks because of what I'm now doing. This is Ronnie McDowell, the videos. Now this is, looking at the cover, I think I can do a lot better than that. This is something that I did. I think I just rushed it a little bit. But this contains a double DVD set with all of Ronnie's official music videos, or promo videos then, if you want to call it. But I think I rushed this pretty badly, because I can do a lot better. And I mean a lot better. So, but what I'm doing, you see, is the reason why I'm redoing this double DVD is because some of the videos, like I'll Make Love to You and Love Me Tender, I haven't been able to find in top quality. But I've got a very special program now on my PC which changes all of that, where it's all pixelated and everything. I can make it nice and smooth and as it should be. So I'm going to be remastering those two videos, and I'm going to look at all the others and basically put together, basically redo it myself. And I'm gonna send a copy to Chris and Ronnie. So there we go. That's that. Okay, now I'm going to start showing you my CDs. So we'll come to the first album. Now, I only got this back last year. Well, this particular version of it. So this is The King Is Gone, and this is an original, this is a CD that came out by a company, because I'm sorry, you can see all the reflections of my wall in the background here. So I do apologise about that. This is on Good Time Records. And it's just very basic and simple, but there's the original CD. Good Time Records there. And the album is, of course, remastered. There's a few other releases that they've put out. I hope they do more like this. I gotta be honest. I hope they do more of Ronnie's albums like this. Because there's some that hasn't been put out on like a silver sort of pressed sort of CD type thing, or silver burned if you want to call it, whichever you want to do it. Well, I only got this last year. Now I don't know how well this is, but in the background there you can see the picture that's on the front cover. So The King Is Gone. This was Ronnie's first album, and that's basically where it kind of started for Ronnie. After Elvis sadly passed, he wrote and recorded The King Is Gone, and the rest, as they say, is history. Ronnie kept on putting out fantastic hits, fantastic albums. And you know, when you listen to his voice, there's just something about his voice that it's so soothing and calming. And in 2020, when I was going through a big breakdown, Ronnie's music really helped me. Between Elvis's music and Ronnie's music, really pulled me through. It really pulled me through, and to call Ronnie a friend and to be able to do what I do for him and so forth, I feel proud of that and honoured. So there's The King Is Gone, but here's the original artwork, which is on the same cover as I just showed you. But there's the this is a replica of the original vinyl album, which I put into this kind of format. There's the spine there, and then the inside, that's the original like record label of Scorpion Records. So I still have this in my collection because it's the original replica of the album cover. So all these early albums I replicated. So that's The King Is Gone. Then we have I Love You, I Love You, I Love You. I Love You, I Love You, I Love You. This is a brilliant album. Now all of these albums have been remastered. And these are available on RonnieMcDowell.com to download. These CDs are my personal replicas that I've done myself. But again, all the tracks are remastered. Okay, now Live at the Fox. Now when I got sent this album, when I got the files sent to me, shall I say, I noticed that the tracks didn't flow in order like they stated on the cover. So what I did was I not only replicated the cover, because these are separate sections that I pasted and put together myself, but I redid the track list and put them in order as they are. And I put everything, I even separated the audio and put things where it should be. So now if you buy this off RonnieMcDowell.com, it's actually my version that I put together, which is in the correct order as it should be. So there we go. You see what I'm doing here as I'm going along, I'm telling you a little bit of the involvement I have as well. Okay, so now we have Rockin' You Easy, Lovin' You Slow. Now this is actually available on CD, and I had involvement with that because not only did I remaster the tracks and send them to Chris McDaniel, I also did the design. Now this is my personal design because it was on Epic Records, but the design that's on the CD which you can buy has got an RM for Ronnie McDowell, which I designed myself and sent that off. And so if anyone's got that out there in the card sleeve or what have you, there we go. So I'm really proud of that. Now I've done all of Ronnie's these type of albums, and but at the moment this one is the only one that's been put out there on CD to purchase. I think the others will be put out there at some point, I'm not sure, but I know they've all been done in the carpet sleeves. So Rockin' You Easy and Lovin' You Slow. Now I'm showing you the album during order as they were put out. So, okay. Now, Ronnie McDowell also did, if anybody has seen the movie, 1979 movie Elvis, starring Kurt Russell as Elvis, and doing the singing, a lot of people who I speak to today still thinks that it's Kurt Russell who did the singing. There's a lot of people I speak to as well who knows that it's not Kurt Russell, but it is indeed, in fact, my buddy Ronnie McDowell. In fact, it says on the album cover, starring Kurt Russell, vocals by Ronnie McDowell. Now, this is the UK, UK and European cover artwork. The US had a different artwork. So this is the original soundtrack album, which I transferred, remastered, and put on CD. As you can see, it's a replica of the arcade label, which is on the record. Now, it's also a gatefold. I'm not sure about. I can't say for the US version because I don't have that version. But the UK/European has a gatefold with a story in the picture, so I even did that as well. The first time I ever done a gatefold booklet type thing, and I've stapled it together. It was tough going, but there we go. Now, I also did a version of this album back. I'm sure it was last year. If it wasn't last year, it was the year before, but I think it was last year. I started looking at the track listing, thinking to myself, well, hang on a minute. In the concert medley, you got Shake, Rattle and Roll, but yet that's not in the movie. But there are songs in the movie that ain't on the soundtrack. Like, they could have easily put Tutti Frutti on you. So I took a look at all the recordings. I took a look at the movie. And I started thinking to myself, this could be a lot better. The soundtrack would be a lot better. So not only did I write down the songs in order as they featured in the movie, but I also put them in the right sequence. Like the concert sequence at the end where he sings Blue Suede Shoes, Burning Love, The Wonder of You. I thought myself, let's put that section in order as it should be, not separated. Like on here, you've got Burning Love, then you got Blue Suede Shoes, and then you got The Wonder of You, which is the second track, and you're like, well, no, that's not how it runs. I always think if something's going to be done properly, do it properly or don't do it at all. So yeah, I transferred everything. Oh, thank you. Oh, actually, I bought me a lovely, lovely cup of coffee. Ooh, and a treat. Thanks, love. So, what I did was I spoke to Chris McDowell about the idea, and he said, yeah, sounds brilliant. So, I took Tutti Frutti, and I also took there's a few gospel numbers that are done in short, like he sings Unchained Melody and How Great Thou Art, and there's another one he sings as well, Bosom of Abraham. Then there's like Good Rockin' Tonight and a few other little songs in the movie. And what I did was just put everything in order. I took out the Shake, Rattle and Roll from the concert medley because it's not in the movie, so why is it on the soundtrack? Tutti Frutti is now in the soundtrack. I added that in. Now, I don't have it burned yet on CD for myself. I do have it on my computer. There is a few albums that I've got that I haven't put on CD yet for myself. But I will do it at some point. Now, I know what you're thinking. You think, well, if you did your own version of this album and it was approved by Chris and Ronnie, how come you haven't got it on CD yet for yourself? Well, what can I say? It's just been a bit crazy. But I do have the album and I have the artwork as well. So my version of this album, I sent all the tracks that I did in the whole album mastered to Chris, and he loved it. He enjoyed everything. And what I'm proud to say is that when it was put the CD, the very first CD of it that was done was given to Ronnie on his birthday. It was presented to him on his birthday, and he was thrilled to bits. So I am truly, truly proud of that. And yeah, it's and you can still purchase the album on his website ronniemcdowell.com, and you can still see all the information about it on Facebook, on the group. When this took place, Chris put the announcement up, and he tagged me in it and everything else. And Ronnie is really happy about it and was overwhelmed with the product. So I'm very proud of it. I'm really proud of it. But as of yet, this is the one I got on CD. I put it in order, but I am going to sort the version I did and put that with my collection as well. I know I feel so bad actually, because do you know what? It's just life. You know, so many things happen, and you do it. I mean, I do so many things throughout the day. I never stop. I never ever stop. I mean, people try to get through to me on my phone sometimes, and I get like, I don't know, how goodness knows how many missed phone calls. So anyway, moving on. Um, next comes a tribute to the King in memory, Ronnie McDowell and the Jordanaires. Now, this originally had a white cover, but I created this one myself because I couldn't get a high res of the white version with the gold. So I looked at the design and just did my own version of it, I guess. Again, I typed all of this out myself, and I done the design and so forth. So now this also came out as a double album with the King Is Gone and this album together. That's also the version that's now available, which again is something that I was able to sort out. So that's a tribute to the King in memory. And then you've got Love So Many Ways. Again, I'm really sorry about the reflections and the glaze. So then we've got Going, Gone. I mean, I want to say a mega thank you to Chris McDaniel, because he is just an amazing guy. Having me involved with things is something I never thought that I would really be, and I just feel so blessed, you know. I really do. This one is On the Road. And the thing is here, I don't have a favourite song or album. It's like Elvis. I don't have any favourite song or any favourite album of Elvis. I love everything he recorded. And it's the same with Ronnie. I don't have a favourite song or a favourite album. I love everything. And then we have Showtime. Now here in the UK, Ronnie's albums are quite difficult to get hold of. So again, I can't thank Chris enough for his help. And then you have Live. This was also an album that I was able to sort out the tracks to, because they were all muffled with the order and so forth. So I was able to take the album and sort the order out of the tracks and everything else like that. Everything I do work-wise, when it comes to anything regarding Ronnie's recording or editing or anything, they always get sent back to Chris to show Ronnie. So since you go. Then we have In the Beginning. Another great album there. And then we got Strawberry Heaven, Portland, Tennessee. And then it's I'll be a good time loving man. I really do hate these reflections. You know, I watch other people's YouTube channels showing their collections of Elvis and different people and everything, and they do a far better job than I do. I need to rethink on how I do my videos. Good time loving man. Then we have Love to Burn. The reason why I'm showing the spine is because I try to, when I replicate something, I try to do everything so it like looks authentic and original and so forth. And obviously these are albums that was never put on CD originally. So when they were transferred, they were done obviously for Ronnie to sell it at shows and everything else like that. But like I said, I know that the Epic albums and so forth have been done so that they're in cardboard and everything's been changed and so forth. So yeah. Let the burn. Okay, so then we have this one here. This one's a bit of a special one. This is live at Franklin Music Park, Georgia on May 6, 1982. This is one that I put together myself, done the cover for the artwork. Now, tracks from here can be found on Ronnie McDowell Radio. I also believe as well there is some tracks that's been put onto some of the compilation CDs that have come out. And everything I create and do, I always send back to Chris. Okay, so then we have Greatest Hits. This is the original first Greatest Hits. And then we have Personally. There's a song I really like in here, and I like the beat of it. You know, anything with like, I don't know, it's just some songs you just really rock to more, and there's a song in you called Let's a Heartache About to Happen. Heartache That's About to Happen is a great song. Blue skies about to rain. Great album. And then you got Country Boy's Heart. See that girl. Oh, see, I got that song now stuck in my head. That means I gotta listen to it after I do this video. And then you got Willin'. Cause I got a million home to cry over you. And then we have this CD here. Now I could never really find the original cover for this. Or should I say I found the original cover, but I had to edit it slightly to try and get it close to the original as possible. It's a gospel album, and I've done my own version of this because this is originally there was an album called there was a gospel album, black cover, and you had the How Great Thou Art album, and you had this one here, and it had about 20 between 19 and 20 odd tracks on it. However, because of the fact that some of the tracks were released later on like an original released pressed CD and so forth, I did my own version of this album. This is I've Got a Friend in Higher Places. So this one has 10 tracks on this version. But again, this is my own custom version of the album. Just recreate the back cover. Here's my CD. Okay, and then we have an original release. This is from the pen of Ronnie McDowell. Like I said, Ronnie's albums here in the UK are very, very rare to get hold of, and very hard to get hold of too. It's not something you can go into your local HMV, and when you buy them offline, they've got to be imported from the US. And there are some places over here that you can get them in, like if you go into eBay, you can get them from the UK, and you can get them from, like, say, you can get the Greatest Hits album type thing, but you can't get many. You can't get any of the exclusive albums. You've either got to buy them from Ronnie's website, or you can pay for the downloads. For me, I get the downloads, and then I put my artwork together there myself, or I get sent the artwork to put together. But what I decided to do was, because I'm a collector anyway, and I collect from all over the world, I decided to keep a lookout on eBay and physically just buy the original CDs when they come up. And this is the first one in my collection as we go along in order. And what I'm glad of is that they were all in the CDs themselves are in fantastic condition. They weren't marked or anything like that. I mean, it's just a personal preference thing. I mean, like I said, before I got these, I did have backup copies of them and so forth that I did the artwork for. But if I can ever find an original, I will. And so yeah, that's from the pen of Ronnie McDowell. And then another one then that I put together. Now this is called Rockin' Live 85. Again, I got sent the concerts and I remastered them and put them to CD and so forth. And again, I sent them all to Chris and Ronnie. So it's Rockin' Live 85. I'm sure it's from the other album. It Arrives. And I used the same kind of artwork for this album here. This is called In a New York Minute. I never loved you in a New York Minute. Okay, so now I'm coming on to, I believe it's his first album on Curb. Yeah, his first album on Curb Records was All Tied Up. Yes. His first album on Curb Records was All Tied Up. Now, all of his albums on Curb Records, when you buy them now, they're what you call MOD. manufactured on demand. However, they were put out originally on their own press, CDs, and I got them all, apart from one, and I was struggling to find the original release of it. Thankfully, my good friend Simon Crisp on Facebook, he sent me some pictures, and I thought, would you ever sell it? And he eventually sold it to me. So this is the original CD release of All Tied Up. I mean, when you buy it now, the CD is just you can tell there are certain differences, and you can tell when they've been manufactured on demand and like redone type thing, with the coloring slightly different. Same thing with the artwork, with the cover art. However, there was one CD that only ever has been put out on manufactured on demand of Ronnie, and I'll come to that when I come to it. Yep. And I learned about this from Chris, because Chris told me what to look out for. But to my mate Simon Crisp, thank you so much. And then we have another rarity. I gotta be honest with you, buying the original CDs, the original releases and everything by the companies, they did prove expensive. I mean, I would pay, sometimes 30 quid for the CD, £40 for the CD. There was one of them I think I paid like 60 to 70 quid for. Can't remember which one it is now, because I was buying them pretty much when they were coming up. I just didn't think, I just grabbed it. So I did spend quite a bit of money collecting the original CDs. Not only did I have to pay for the CD, but because I was getting them from America, the postage just shot right up in price. But they're worth it. So this one's hit after hit. Another original. Now I'm only going to take them out if they got booklets. This one doesn't. This is hit after hit. Don't know why I'm taking the disc out for you all. Nothing on the other side. But that's the original. And then for Christmas, can't remember now if it was you, but I think it was 2020 actually for this one too. Yeah, cause I'm sure it was 2020. My wife bought me a CD of Ronnie McDowell, and it was one that I was always trying to find the original of. And this one, for some reason, when I was looking for it on eBay and Discogs, it was a very high price. There was one that even over £100, and I was like, oh my goodness. And I started thinking, well, there's still other originals I want to get at the moment, so I'll get those first. When I was explaining to my wife about it, Kelly went, okay, said nothing about it, and for Christmas I opened this and I was like, oh my goodness, that must have cost a fortune. And it did, and it didn't cost a fortune. I'm not going to tell the story behind it, but it did and it didn't cost a fortune. Cost a bit, and it was off Discogs as well. This is Ronnie McDowell, Older Woman and Other Greatest Hits. This is a fantastic release. I love this cover. I love this album, I mean. I love the cover as well. Why this one was quite expensive, I'm not sure. But I can tell you that this is the only album that got released on CD by Epic. All these other Epic albums has never been released on CD. So, I mean, you get them now from, obviously, like I said, I had to do a few things to be able to get them, and but there's nothing in the booklet on this. But yeah, Really was impressed with that. I couldn't believe it when I opened it and I saw it. I was just, so even though it was like Christmas time, it didn't matter to me. This was going on, and I blasted it out. I was like, yes. Okay, another one that was difficult. Now this took ages to come as well. This was I'm Still Missing You. Great album. They're all great albums. I mean, if you love country music, you're gonna love Ronnie McDowell because he's absolutely amazing. Okay. Oh, so I'm taking the CDs off my shelf. This is American Music. Now I got this in a job lot with another Ronnie McDowell CD. Still paid quite expensive for it, but and that's the sticker that came on the back of it. Obviously, when it was first released on CD, in whatever shop that was in America, but I've kept it on there. I love American music. The video is pretty cool for this as well. It's like Ronnie with mixed up with cartoons, which he did himself. So it's pretty cool. American music. And this backing track that I had custom made from this album. I sent it to a company here in the UK, and I got the backing track made for Honky Tonk Women Love Redneck Men, because it's one that I sing in my mixed rock and roll shows. Well, I've got a show called Rock and Roll Rhythm and Country, and I perform that song in there. And now a lot of people, when I sing Ronnie's songs over here, they're like, who's that? What? But yeah. So this is Your Precious Love. Another original. These are all mainly originals now until, that I feel like. And then we've got the best of. This is pretty cool because what I like about these type of CDs, you got like for instance Sheet Music and She's a Little Past 40. Now they don't appear on any of the other Ronnie albums, or they have been put on Ronnie albums. That's been exclusively done through Ronnie's site and so forth. But as for like a releases like this, she's a little past 40. A long way from over the hill, a little past 40. She's sensational still. She's not getting older, just better at giving a thrill. She's a little past 40, but a long way from over the hill. Absolutely brilliant music. All my friends, people here in the UK who are watching, please check this guy out. He is just absolutely awesome. I'm not saying he's not known over here in the UK. I don't want that to come across as if he's an unknown, because he's not. Because he's got a mega UK fan base as well, and he has been over to the UK, and I hope he comes again, because that's the only chance I'm going to get to meet him in person, because I won't fly on a plane. If I can turn down going to Graceland in Memphis a few times, You know what I mean? And that's my dream, that is. I'll be there someday. I know I will be. But that's a different kind of story, which I won't go into. This is Unchained Melody. Next one is When a Man Loves a Woman. When a man loves a woman, can't keep his mind on nothing else. And then we have Country Dances. Whew. It's not the right way. And then we have the greatest hits. Now there is a reissue as well with this that gives the wrong date on it. This, however, is the first release, the first edition of it. But this version of Greatest Hits also, like I said, got reissued with the wrong date on it as well. So also as well, the spine is different, and it advertises albums on the inside, whereas the original version, or the first edition, shall I say, doesn't. Okay, now remember me telling you about the gospel album, the I've Got Friends and I Play Said did my own version of? Well, that's because this got released by Curb, called Great Gospel Songs, and it features the songs that are on one second, I just want to check something here. Yeah, the songs that was released, basically the earlier gospel albums, I've Got a Friend in High Places and so forth, basically this album and that album basically all put together. But because it came out separate on an original factory pressed CD by Curb, that's why I decided to split and make my own version of the I've Got Friends in the Higher Places album. And I like the cover artwork as well. But you can get this one and that one with further gospel songs on a CD called How Great Thou Art, which is on Ronnie's site. And if you've got the older releases on vinyl, there is one as well on the black cover with gold text font on the front. So this is great gospel songs. And again, it's 10 songs on here and 10 on the one that I put together myself. Look, so happy days. Again, this is a great album. I love his version of Just a Closer Walk with Thee. I just think it's tremendous. I really think it's tremendous. So, here we go. Then you have the best of, again. But this is by Into Sounds. Now, there was a release, an Elvis release by Into Sounds, but it got reissued, which I'm going to come to in a minute as well. So, best of. You now see where I took this cover from. She's a little past 40, but a long way from over there. I hate it when a song gets stuck in your head. She's sensational still. She's not getting older. I've got to listen now. I've got to listen to a few songs now. Okay, so use the Christmas album. I'll Be Home for Christmas. This was quite expensive when I got this one. They were all, like I said, they're all expensive, but some of them were expensive, more expensive than others, and this was one of the more expensive ones. It's also signed by him too. Okay, this is the one that I put together without the artwork. This is From Me to You. The reason why it's mixed in with the originals is because everything's in order. Now, Chris McDowell designed that one. Back to the originals now. Okay, so this is a tribute to the King. Now, when this was put out, there was different track listings on it. Slightly different track listings, should I say. But for me, this is the more complete release of it. More tracks on this one than the others. There's 24 tracks on this one. Watching girls go by me. See, songs are coming into my head. There's Ronnie there with the Jordanaires, who Ronnie worked with for so many years. Really good friends with them too. So, I mean, he loved and idolized Elvis, and the amount of people Ronnie has worked with over the years, it's just amazing, truly amazing. And all of Ronnie's family are amazing too, and the band, everybody around Ronnie, you know, they're just truly amazing. You know, they're truly blessed, and I feel so privileged and so honoured to be able to call them friends. This is Ronnie McDowell Country. Now, it was this album I heard about. I got to learn what was, when it came to the MODs, the manufactured on demand. Excuse me while I take a little swig of coffee here. When I got this album, first of all, I don't know, something didn't seem right, but I questioned it and I didn't question it. And when I sent pictures to Chris McDowell, he turned around to me and said that that's a repress, basically manufactured on demand, and it's a mod. So it's a what? And then he told me that they after the album Lost and Dirty Dancing, they started to, you know, put out his albums on a demand basis only. So they kind of recopied the original artwork and tried to put it out in the best way they could. Now, what struck me is like, I'm gonna show that's the original CD, okay? But when I first got it, it was a silver disc, and you couldn't exactly see the shadow of Ronnie there. You know, it was very dark. It was almost black-like type thing, and the CD was silver, not white. So I was questioning it a lot, and you know, he told me about it, like I said, and the ink on the cover was kind of like, well, it wasn't right. You could tell it was off, and I was like, well, why have they done that then? There was also as well, there was nothing like that on there, I don't think. But it's the original repress. This is the original, not the repress. Also as well, when you go here, all this didn't seem right and everything else, and the colors would go in here and so forth. So when Chris told me about this, I immediately went back online trying to find an original, and I was really feeling gutted that I couldn't find one. It took me a few days, but what I started doing was messaging the companies who had these in stock, because you'd see them, all over eBay, and I sent a few people a message asking, could I see a picture of the original disc. So some of them then started sending me photographs, and they were all of the mods, the manufactured on demand versions, and I'm like, oh my goodness, I'm never going to get the original. But at the last minute, when I thought there was no hope, somebody sent me a picture saying, yeah, I can send you pictures, and it was this. And I was like, oh, finally. It was a little expensive, but I thought, yeah, gotta be done. So I bought it, and luckily got hold of it. It came through lovely, and it's a brilliant album. So it's the story behind that. That's how I know now a lot about manufactured on demand albums. And Chris then also told me some of the other signs to look out for, like if something had a picture behind it, like in the CD trays. In some of them they might not, So then, this was the other experience I had. Started looking for this. I spotted the original of this. Ronnie McDowell with Bill Pinky's Original Drifters. Another great album. And what the difference was with this is some of them, there was no back to. No back at the CD tray, it was just white. And obviously this is the original. And you could tell instantly. So, but luckily, when I bought this, I took a chance in buying one that was quite cheap at the time, and luckily it was the original version. So I was quite happy with that. And then you had again, this was one that's not. This is one of the exclusive ones, I call them. Basically, you could only get it through, because a lot of them, you could only get through Ronnie's shows or going to see him in concert. Road albums, it were called. Or you could get them from like Ronnie's websites, and but you couldn't get them from anywhere else. So this one is one of those albums. This is Let Me Be With You Tonight. And then another one by Curb. Now this is pretty cool. Now, you had this album called The E Connection, okay? When I first bought it, now I bought this when, I was actually quite young, to be honest. Well, I say quite young. It was in the mid 2000s, something like that. Before I started collecting all of Ronnie's, before I even really got into sort of, Ronnie or anything like that, I got this year the Elvis Connection featuring Ronnie McDowell, the Jordanaires, Scotty Moore, DJ Fontana, and Millie Kirkland. And it says, Disc 2, You Can Sing Like the King, with his original band. And it was this version here. Now, Disc 1, you've got with Ronnie McDowell, Disc 2, karaoke versions. So basically what they did was for Disc 2, it's the same album, they just took out Ronnie's vocals. That's all they did. So, there are some of these I even use in shows. So you're actually singing with Elvis's original band, which is pretty awesome. So this was the first version that I bought, but when I was speaking to Chris about it, he told me that this was a limited version, and it's becoming rare to get. Now, not only do I got it, but I still got my original hype sticker on the case, so it's pretty cool. And it does come with a booklet. Basically, it's the track lyrics. Actually, there's any pictures from here. There's no pictures, but then you've got the story, the Elvis, which tells you all about the project, and there's more track listings there. Again, more information about the album and everything else. It's fantastic read. So if you see this version, yeah, I'd highly get it. So that's that version. But as I was collecting all the originals where I could, I still wanted to get the original version of this. So I found it on eBay. And this was sealed. But with everything, I make sure I open it and play it. What I did like about this, I did like, is the fact on the back this came here. For promotional use only, sale or other transfer is prohibited. Must be returned on demand of the record company. Well, use my message. I ain't returning this to any record company. This is staying with my collection. Oh yes. So, that's pretty cool. I don't think they would ask for it back now though. But like I said, if they did, no chance. I do remember this one being expensive, I gotta be honest. Maybe I'm guessing for that very reason. Like I said, some was more expensive than others, and this was one of the more expensive ones. So, but it was worth it. It was well worth it. I mean, there is a part of me now that wishes I kept it sealed, because like I said, it was sealed all around. And obviously that sticker's actually on this. I mean, normally the stickers are on like the seal, and you got to try and take them off without destroying them to put them on. Because as a collector, that's what, you know, a lot of collectors like. Some don't mind, but I'm one of the collectors that do like that. However, I mean, this case is slightly cracked here. Well, it's not cracked, it's got like a scratch on it. But that CD, that hype sticker, was actually on the casing. So I'm not going to be replacing the case. I'm going to just keep it in good condition, you know, as I do with everything. So, yeah. The E connection, the king is gone. That's what it says there on the spine. So, really happy about that. Okay, then we got another one, that what I call exclusive one. There was a series of CDs that got put out called The Ones That Got Away. Now, all of these were recorded using the Velvet collection of Elvis's tracks and so forth. And what I did was, there were some songs contained on these albums that wasn't Elvis songs, such as Bebop-A-Lula, He's Got You, and everything. So what I decided to do was go through all of these recordings, take out the non-Elvis tracks, and put my own version together. So I did on one CD. I think it was 4 volumes. I got them all on my computer. I got everything on my computer. So I put my own version together. So like I said, this is just for me personally, for my collection. But again, everything that I've done, I always let Chris know what I'm doing. So when you see those kind of things, and I tell you that I put them together myself, I don't want If you're a Ronnie fan, I don't want you to go on his website thinking, oh, I want this, because, and I haven't done it with many, like I said, just with I Got Friends in Higher Places and on this one. And there is a few more that I've done with as well, like this one here. Now, this is Memories, Elvis Close as a Brother. Okay? Now, also available around the same time was this album here, Ronnie McDowell Sings Elvis. Now, they're both the same album apart from a track difference. But what I did was just put the track on here for the sake of one track, and I burned, when I put it CD for myself, I just burned the one cover. There is another title this year as well, and I removed that so I can just have it as a standard album. So there we go. And then we come to the last album. So I need to take another drink again. We come to the last album that was put out by Curb Records, which was in 2009, and it's called Lost in Dirty Dancing. However, I would have hoped that, you know, they put it out as a proper pressed CD. However, they didn't. By the time that this album came out, streaming was getting pretty the norm type thing. So they only did Ronnie's albums on on CD on MOD, manufactured on demand. So this never got a proper pressed physical CD. Obviously, they did do the art. They done the artwork and everything, and they had to deal with Amazon as well. Because when you order this, it says manufactured by Amazon.com. Then it's got .KYDC, I think it is it? Or E? And then it's got Lexicon with a K at the end of it in brackets. So I'm guessing that stands for Lexicon, Kentucky. But that's the barcode. I'm going to try and see if I can get it. You can just see above barcode that there is some smaller writing there. So, however, it's been done all professionally and so forth. If I take this out, oh, there's nothing there, just a black screen. Well, they did it professionally on a professional disc. It's not like that silly colouring or anything. You know what I mean? So they did that. And is there anything inside? No, there isn't anything on the booklet side. So that's the original, even though it's not pressed or anything with proper cover or the disc or anything like that. It's still an original CD because that's how it was put out. So, Lost in Dirty Dancing. And from then on, there were some. All the releases have been sort of exclusive, where Ronnie's put them out himself, and so forth. So, I'm going to continue. After that, he had Unforgettable Love Songs. Then you have A Tribute to My Friend Conway. Again, these kind of albums I got the downloads for, and I put the artwork together there myself. And then you had you'll notice, those of you who have followed Ronnie McDowell and everything that's been put out, CD wise and so forth, you'll notice there's an album called If I Could Paint the Way I Feel. I do have the album on my computer. I have everything that Ronnie's put out on my computer. All in folders, all in their albums, everything in order. but for just my personal collection, what I play and what I take in the car and everything else, it's on my shelf here. If I Could Paint the Way I Feel was done for the Cancer Foundation, and this one is also for the Cancer Foundation. I do have this on CD. Reason why I don't have everything is because I'm with compilations and stuff like that. I don't like a lot of repeats, and it's just my personal preference. If there was a CD with just like one track difference on it, but everything else I've got on other CDs, I would rather take just that one track and put it on another CD with other tracks that I've got that are just on like one CD type thing. So, but this one is called Country Classics. And there's only 8 tracks on this one. There is a hidden track, but when I sorted this one, I took the hidden track out and put it on another CD, which I'll come to which I will come to. And now, when I got this, I had to get the download of this because I couldn't get the, I believe it was another exclusive, which I couldn't get hold of. But again, it would have been put out like this anyway. So it says here, Ronnie McDowell, Cancer Foundation for Children, all proceeds to the Ronnie McDowell Cancer Foundation for Children. Like I said, I couldn't find I couldn't find the original pressing or anything like that. So it was sent to me in this format, and I put the artwork together myself. Okay, the next one. Now, Ronnie put an album out called Back to Blue Hawaii. And then a little bit later on, it was reissued under a new title called Islands in the Sky with 2 new tracks on. So, what did I do? I got the reissue version, Islands in the Sky, on download, and I got sent the front cover by Chris, and I had the other artwork for Back to Blue Hawaii. Now, I love I love all the covers, but I think the artwork to Back to Blue Hawaii is pretty cool, the way that Ronnie's standing. But obviously the title of it on my shelf is Islands in the Sky. But what did I do? I took both artworks, pieces of artwork, and I did this. So there's a front cover. That's what that's one Chris designed, by the way. Chris have designed, by the way, most of what I've showed you. So there's Islands in the Sky. The title is Islands in the Sky. The back cover, however, is from Back to Blue Hawaii. But obviously it's the complete track listing. And on the inside, I did the CD, Islands in the Sky, with the picture from Back to Blue Hawaii. But the inside inlay cover, look at that. That's the front cover for Back to Blue Hawaii. So all I did was edit it and put the CD design together like that. I absolutely think it's a cool album. I think of all of them, cool album. And look how young Ronnie there. Pretty cool. Okay, so the next album, again, another exclusive. 2 albums in one. I looked at the track listing. Again, there was one track listing. There was one track listing difference. So what I did, I took the 2 albums, put them together. There is now the 12-track album. God of Love come out first, and then Amazing Grace come out afterwards. So the cover that was used for this one is God of Love. And I used the Amazing Grace cover on the inside like that. Now this one had been recently reissued. This next one I'm going to show you. But I've got the original. I'm using the original artwork. Although I do think the new reissue is a better artwork. Because it's been changed slightly. But by that time I'd already done this. It's already remastered. when it was reissued, there was another track put on there, but the track that was put on there, I've already got on this album here, which is Child of the 50s. But here's the original album of Back to the 50s. So that's that. And then we have, I still haven't got around to doing this yet, but I think the original, when it was put out, I'm not sure if it's got the booklet. I'll have to check into that. But the next album I have is I'm Gonna Dance with the Ones That Brought Me. This is pretty cool. Some cool photographs there. So, yes. Right, now this one is quite a rare album. This is called Ronnie McDowell's brand new album, On the Other Side. Dee 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 dee, on the other side. This is pretty cool. I mean, the singles are on here, which are there's one single on here, sorry, Single Woman, with the B side of that, which was Time to Say Goodbye. So both tracks are on here. So yeah, really, really cool. I did show you the inside of that, didn't I? I think so. Okay. Now the original disc design is actually like a spread with this sort of logo on it, brand new album. But I did it like that. Okay. Another album is Songs I Love. What I like on this one is there's a song on here. Now, Ronnie recorded the Patsy Cline song, He's Got You. There's a song on here called He Still Has You, which is pretty cool. I think it's like, I'll have to listen to them back to back and see if that's like a follow-up song. So Songs I Love. And then we have Crazy Crush. That's the design I did, which is one of the designs I got uploaded for to be put out on CD. This back cover was designed by his son Tyler Dean McDowell, who I'm also friends with, who's also a fantastic guy and a fantastic singer as well. So please check him out on YouTube and also on Facebook. It's Crazy Crush. And then you have a Christmas album called Red, White and Blue Christmas. There is another Christmas album as well called Christmas Classics with 2 other Christmas songs on. That's not on this album. Christmas Classics is a compilation between songs from here and songs from the first Christmas album I showed you, which is this one here, I'll Be Home for Christmas. Combination of a selection of tracks from both albums, not all of them, but a selection of them, and 2 other I think there's all the other tracks. Yeah, all the tracks from both albums, plus 2 other tracks as well. So, and then we have Daddy-O. Featuring Bill Medley and Barbara Hart. So yeah, it's Daddy-O. And then you got Country Heaven, Ronnie McDowell and Friends. Then we have For the Fans. My Happiness on You is fantastic. It's a duet between Ronnie and Elvis. Pretty cool. I was going to say I've stopped showing you the spines. I don't know why. Okay, and then we have Ronnie McDowell's The Greatest Hits. Now, for this album, he re-recorded just recently, only a couple of years ago. He re-recorded the classic hits like The King Is Gone, Wandering Eyes, Older Women, Watching Girls Go By, Personally, I Dream of Women Like You, Love Talks, In a New York Minute, You're Gonna Ruin My Bad Reputation, and All Tied Up. He re-recorded all of those for this issue, new version of The Greatest Hits. Now, for Elvis's, I think it was either his birthday or his anniversary, but Ronnie did like a mini Elvis festival over there at the Donahoe Hotel, and they put together this. This is the official Elvis Festival album. Which you can find all info on this on his website. Now this is a combination of tracks that I remastered myself from the Elvis album and some of the other Elvis recordings that Ronnie did. And his latest album, with all new tracks, is this one. This album here. I can't pronounce it. Resurgence. Sorry. If it's told to me, I can say it. But I'm not. There's a lot of things I'm not good with pronunciation, so I do apologize. Some good tracks. Now, Old Time Country Soul. I love that. It's like a take on just take those old records off the shelf. I sit and listen to them all by myself. Today's music ain't got the same soul. I like that old time rock and roll. Don't try to take me to no disco. Anyway, my voice, I'm woken up yet. It's called Old Time Country Soul, and it's all about the country music legends, which are mentioned in the song. Check it out. It's an amazing song, amazing, great rework. So yeah. Now I come to my last CD I'm going to show you. But I want to explain something. There are other albums such as Ronnie Sings R&B, Somebody Hold Me. There's quite a few albums actually that I haven't shown because I've got them all on my computer. In fact, I have got a folder here. If I go into my music file, I'm sorry that I'm not showing the screen. Let's go to exclusive. Right, so albums like How Great Thou Art. I didn't show you that one because I've shown you the separate gospel album. I've Got a Friend in Higher Places, and great gospel songs. There's The King Is Gone and a tribute to Elvis in Memory, which I told you it's a double album, but with the two of them together. Then you've got the number ones that got away, volume 1, 2, 3, and 4 volumes. Then you got If I Could Paint the Way I Feel in 2006. Like I said, on that, like for instance, on that album, you've got If I Could Paint the Way I Feel, Jesus Loves Me, When Ben Smiled, Just a Closer Walk with Thee, I Could See Jesus in You, I've Got a Friend in Higher Places, Ain't It Amazing, Safely in the Arms of Jesus, Take My Hand, Precious Lord, This Much, Red, White, and Blue Christmas. Now, all of those songs are all spread on the other albums that I've got on disc. The only two that are different for me on this album is If I Could Paint the Way I Feel and When Ben Smiled. Now, If I Could Paint the Way I Feel is on the album Lost in Dirty Dancing. If I am correct, I'm going to double check on that because I'm questioning it myself. Yes. However, the version that's on here is slightly different to the version that's on this album, If I Could Paint the Way I Feel. The song's the same, but like the musical arrangement, it's like if the version on here, on Lost in Dirty Dancing, is a re-recording of it. So for me, this song, the version on the CD of the same title, is what I would call the original version. And then When Ben Smiled. So for the sake of two tracks, I pulled those two, put them into a folder, and I did the same thing with other albums. Like there's one called you got Unforgettable Love Songs, which I showed you. But then you've got like 40 Years, Volume 1. And then you've got Something Special, 40 Years, Volume 2. Then you've got songs like, obviously you've got the brand new album. Right, then you've got Greatest Love Songs. Now on that CD, again, it's all songs that's contained on all the other CDs that I have. So, however, on that CD, which came out in 2018, there's a song called I'll Make Love to You, which Ronnie recorded in the early 90s, I believe it was 94. What I did was I took that off and I put it into a folder. Got great selections of Yesterday and Today. You got Mardi Gras Nights. It's Only Make Believe. Ronnie Sings R&B. Somebody Hold Me. Christmas Classics. In Her Eyes. Obviously you got the new single then, Easy to Love. Okay, so those kind of albums, if they've got songs on all the others I've got, if they're the same versions and so forth, I've not done anything with them. I've kept them on my computer so that everything's there. Okay, so here's the run order. I'm gonna come back to the album that I said about that I did the versions of for the Elvis, the movie soundtrack album. So what did I add? So I added, I created a medley, rock and roll medley. So you got the rock and roll medley, which consists of Good Rockin' Tonight, Lordy Miss Claudie, and Long Tall Sally. And then you've got another medley that I created, which contained Unchained Melody, How Great Thou Art, and Bosom of Abraham. I added in Tutti Frutti, which wasn't on the original Elvis movie soundtrack album. So on the version that I did, you've got 21 tracks and everything is in order. The only thing that's slightly out of order is the medleys I did because they're so short, I had to get them in because I was listening to the concert medley on the original album. Let me show you that album again. This is the original version, the original soundtrack, I'm looking at the concert medley and I'm looking at the songs and how short they are. So how can I put them together? And because they're only short in the movie, I was able to do them that way. So like do a good mix and put them intertwined with each other. So I did that, and I added in full versions because on here in the concert medley you got like a Fool Such As I. That's part of the concert medley on the original album. On the reversion that I did, A Fool Such As I is now the full track. And obviously got Crying in the Chapel. All the versions I've done on the version I put together, they've all been remastered. So, and obviously the artwork is different as well. So that's my little claim there. So yeah, that's basically how I've got my Ronnie collection. And if I take a look at the official releases, everything is in there. So yeah, and then you go back to the exclusive releases. Exclusive releases are the CDs that you can only purchase through going to see Ronnie's live shows or ordering them off his website, or ordering them through his Facebook page or what have you. So that's how I've got it, but everything is in order, and I do have all the stuff that come out, even like I said, all the reissues and so forth. So that's that. Now, all the songs that I pulled off those CDs, like I said, with like songs like Bebop Balula from the Elvis album that came out, the ones that got away, because obviously it's not Elvis. So there was also some other songs as well, such as some of the early singles, like Animal, or The Bridge Washed Out, Night in Faded Blue Jeans. There are also some songs like Got No Time for Bad News Today, which is on one of the CDs. I believe it's on Great Selections of Songs. Yeah. Originally that got first put out on a CD called Great Selections Yesterday and Today. It came out in 2018. All the other songs are on, like I said, on the other albums, but this one also contained Got No Time for Bad News Today. So what I decided is all tracks like that, I pulled all those off and I put something together called Ronnie McDowell The Collection. It's a double CD. So this is something I've only just recently done this. Now on here, I'm going to read the tracks out for you. CD 1, you've got Look at the Moon, The Bridge Washed Out, Animal. Now Animal is the studio version, because on the CD that has been put out, it's a live version. So you've got the studio version of Animal. He's a Cowboy from Texas, I Just Wanted You to Know, Night in Faded Blue Jeans, Got No Time for Bad News Today, My Baby Don't Wear No Pajamas, I Don't Want to Set the World on Fire, Strings of Silver Satin, Hold Me Tight, B-side version, which is, as you can see there, I put it in brackets there slightly. I don't think you can see it because, never mind. But it's in brackets, B-side version, because it's slightly different to the versions from the album. Make Me Late for Work Today, I'll Make Love to You, Blue Suede Shoes. Now, Blue Suede Shoes never got put out on a Ronnie album. It was on almost like a Jive Bunny type of CD. It was like a mixed rock and roll compilation. So, Blue Suede Shoes, Good Rockin' Tonight, Soulmates. Now, although Soulmates is on one of the, I think it's on Crazy Crush, I think. This version here is from the All the King's Men CD back in the 90s. And then you got CD 2, you've got Don't Mess with America, Bebop Alula, He's Got You, One Tear, or One Tear. to get to you, if I could paint the way I feel, original version, When Ben Smiled, Make the World Go Away, which is the hidden track on Country Classics, but because it's not stated on there, I've put it on here. Love Tattoo, with Richard Lynch, is this man? She Makes Me Want to Do Things, Slipping Away, We'll Make America Good Again with the Oak Ridge Boys, Save the Last Dance for Me with Nikki Harris, I Want to Do a Duet with You, Crystal Gale, Looking Back at Me with Mickey Gilley, and You Can Do It. So that's sort of like my little own creation there. So I've done something good with the catalogue number as well. That's a date. That is the 13th of the 3rd, 2023. Well, it says 23, but it stands for 2023. So I only put it together the other day, so little tricky there. And there is copyrights on here, but this is what it states, because I'm not putting this out there as an official product. I put warning, this is a private fan-made double CD created for use only by the creator. It is not for public sale, online, or in stores. Therefore, any reproduction, lending, broadcasting of this product is strictly prohibited, copyrighted 2023. And the barcode underneath there, instead of it all in numbers, it said private fan made double CD, 13th of the 3rd, 23. Just a little bit of fun. Because like I said, it's not going to go anywhere or what have you. So, but yeah. But again, it's just out of love for Ronnie. I mean, I love everything that he's recorded. I love everything about him, what he does. He is a very down-to-earth kind of person, and you know, I just what can I say? I mean, in 2020, when I was going through my breakdown, I was going through a lot in 2020, and there were times I just wanted to give up. But you know, with thanks to family and friends, you know, and thinking about certain people, I was able to get through and pull myself together. And I remember Kelly turning around, my wife Kelly, she said, look, you know, you need to find some way of actually coping, like a coping mechanism. Although listening to Elvis was starting to get me through, I think that throughout all my years of dealing with things, I've always turned to music, and I was starting to come through. And one day I just remember being at such a low point where I just needed some guidance from somewhere or something, and I put on a Ronnie, one of the CDs I had by Ronnie, which was containing gospel songs, and I just remember being in the car listening to his voice and just looking up at the clouds and just shutting everything off, and I was able to sort of think, you know, just retract my mind a bit, and it calmed me, and I was able to smile, and I just started playing Ronnie's music all the time, non-stop, and it just made me feel good. It made me happy. And so between Ronnie and Elvis, well, it's just amazing what music can really do when you feel the music. And for me, both Elvis and Ronnie did that. And I'm gonna say this: I never in my life thought that I would ever be a fan of somebody. You know, I never thought I would love somebody as an artist the way that I do for Elvis. Well, Ronnie's kind of proven me wrong on that one, because I love Ronnie just as much as I love Elvis. I think he is truly amazing, and I feel blessed to call him a friend. I'm proud of being able to do the work that I do. all thanks to Chris getting me involved with everything. The whenever I look at the DVD which I put together, knowing that I did this and put it out there for fans to buy, and being part of the official Facebook group, the radio station which is on Ronnie's official website, and I made some I made a lot of friends as well, who were, you know, friends and fans of Ronnie. And you know, whenever I speak to Chris, sometimes the time differences can be a little strange, because obviously the time difference is over there, is over here, and Ronnie as well. It's remember the video that Ronnie sent me as well, private video. It just really means a lot, and I truly can't thank both Ronnie and Chris enough for everything. I really can't. You have no idea what it means to me. Even I guess even a bigger thanks to Chris. When I first started chatting with him and speaking with him, I was explaining just how hard and difficult it is over here in the UK to get Ronnie's albums, especially some of the road albums, which was only ever really for sale on Ronnie's shows and tours back in the 80s and 90s. Chris helped me out with them, especially with knowing my situation at the time. You're just a really, really great guy, and I really can't thank you all enough. So yeah, I hope you've enjoyed this video, everybody, and those who may not be familiar with Ronnie, please go and check him out, because, and I'm speaking to all my friends here in the UK, because I know everybody in the US have heard of him, and I do, like I said, that does sound bad, and I don't mean it in a bad way at all, I really don't. It's just that I do speak with a lot of people who don't know who Ronnie is, and I speak with a lot of people who do know who Ronnie is. So those of you who don't know, that may be watching this video, please go and check him out, because he is amazing. He really is. If you love Elvis, you love Ronnie. That's all I can say. He's good. He's a really gifted person, a really talented person. I just can't say no ends of him. Also as well, please check out my buddy who got me involved with everything. Please check out this guy here. Please check out Chris McDowell. I'll stick some links in the description to all the places to visit. So be sure to check out the description part of this video. So I'm going to end this video now by saying to you, take care of yourselves, keep well, and keep safe. I've got to go and get ready now and sorted, because I have a busy night tonight. And until my video next week, God bless you.